Alright, this is my kind of late review of Doom Eternal. The Ancient Gods, Part 1. Uh, it's pretty good, you know? I can't think of any real issues I had with it. 3 maps is a little scant, but they make up for it in being substantially large. That first map specifically felt as large, if not bigger, than some of the larger maps of the base game. Oh yeah, I remember where I was going to go with this. So, basically, when I first got Doom Eternal, I attempted to play it on Ultraviolence, because that was my comfort difficulty in Doom 2016. Nightmare was just too hard. I would get frustrated, and there's no point playing a game and to have fun and be entertained if you're going to be stuck on one. It's not even an arena fight, it's like a fight between arenas, and you're just stuck on that for hours. It's not entertaining, right? So I played Doom 2016 on Ultraviolence. I attempted to play Doom Eternal on Ultraviolence. Got my ass handed to me. By the time I finally beat the game, I had turned Sentinel Armor back on, and I was playing on I'm Too Young to Die. I eventually beat the game on Nightmare by progressing up in the difficulties and sort of learning how to take care of each situation as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Well, sometimes not as quickly, just as efficiently. My strategy generally is stay alive. One time, in one of the Slayer gates, the one where they send a marauder at you, busting through the wall, I kept that marauder alive for probably maybe 10 minutes, just avoiding him, just because my timing was off. I couldn't quite get there until finally I got him. Super shotgun, ballista. Got him. Right? But, I ended up having to do the same thing with Ancient Gods. I started with Nightmare, because Nightmare is what I play Doom Eternal on. That's my comfort difficulty. It's hard, but it's not too hard. It's satisfying, is how I put it. When you finally beat that fight you've been stuck on for like a half hour, it's satisfying, you know? I had to turn Ancient Gods down to Hurt Me Plenty. Or not Hurt Me Plenty. I'm Too Young to Die. It was on Hurt Me Plenty for a while. I don't think... No. I'm not sure if there is Sentinel Armor in Ancient Gods. There probably is. If there is, I didn't end up turning it on. But, oh, I had a hell of a time with that final boss. Lore-wise, though... Well, no, I guess let's stick with the mechanics here for a second. And my gameplay experience, because that's a big part of playing a game, is your gameplay experience. I end up turning the difficulty down so much, not because it's suddenly too difficult. However, it has been a while since I played as frequently as I did when I beat it on Nightmare, so my my fluidity with the controls has sort of lapsed. Muscle memory needs to be trained almost daily, otherwise it doesn't work. Learned that from Batman comic books. Anyway, so there's that, and there's also just wanting to finish the goddamn story and get through the lore of it, because that's ultimately what I'm playing them for. I grew to like the gameplay experience of 2016 because I'd been looking for a good shooter. But what I really became attached to was the lore and the world building at play. I swear to God, it's not COVID. It's because I smoke way too much. I've been very stressed out. Smoking way too often. Anyway, so I had to turn down the difficulty just so I could get through the damn thing and it not take weeks, because it would have taken me weeks, probably, to really nail that down. And I would have given up after a little bit and then just had to go through and beat the story on Nightmare again, just to regain that fluidity, that muscle memory. So, I really like what they're doing with the lore, because it's ostensibly what I thought they were going to be doing with the introduction of the Marauder. I thought the Marauder, from what they showed off the concept art at QuakeCon, or maybe it was E3, what I thought the Marauder was a corrupted Doomslayer from another dimension, because they said they were going to be building a Doom universe. And what is a story universe if not a multiverse these days? What worth does your universe have if it does not contain, or rather is surrounded by various other semi-identical universes? Comic books have sort of ruined building fictional universes, as far as I'm concerned. Because once the idea of the multiverse is introduced to your mind, and regardless of how good a story is, you're always going to be wondering where it sort of fits into a grander scheme of things, at least with me. So I thought the Marauder was a corrupted, evil Doomslayer from another universe. Nope. Satan, the Dark Lord, or whatever we're calling him in Doom. I think he's the Dark Lord, or the Dark One. I think it's the Dark Lord. It is Doom Guy. It's evil Doom Guy from the second, I can't remember which reality, but it's the reality that ended up becoming hell. So, this opens the door for quelling the hell invasion, finally, and exploring other universes to obliterate gods. And there's something about that speaks to me deeply. That idea of killing the gods. It's not that I'm a militant atheist or an ardent believer in Nietzsche's God is dead thing. I'm not a postmodernist by any stretch of the imagination. I do appreciate some postmodernism from an artistic standpoint, but as not a huge fan of postmodernism, generally speaking. But I really like that. There's something about that. Something about the idea a character of a human being wronged by the gods and rising up to ascend to their heights and kind of conquer them. There's a quote in Star Trek DS9. Worf, he's asked about Klingon gods, and he says ancient Klingon warriors killed our gods a millennia ago after they decided they were more trouble than they were worth. And I love that. I absolutely love that. There's something great about that. So that's what Doom is becoming. And if that's what Doom's becoming, I really like that. Because going back to it, it's the Klingons have it in their belief system, apparently. It only comes up in that one quote, but it's awesome when that quote is said. Then, that's what Batman is. Batman is a man who ascends to the heights of the gods and then is ostensibly their chief. I mean, I know Superman is the god of the superheroes, but Batman's the one who can kick all of their asses and keep all of them in check were they to become corrupted. It's a great quote. Well, it's a great moment. I can't quote it, so I'm not even going to try. It's after the contingency plan stuff, where I think it's Vandal Savage gets a hold of all of Batman's contingency plans and modifies them to try and kill the Justice League. And they're all pissed off, and they're yelling at Batman. They're like, well, what was it? Your contingency plan for yourself if you went evil? And he was like, I had. You probably didn't even have one. He's like, I did have one. It's called the Justice League. Oh, fuck. That's cool. Oh, there's another example of that. Oh, yeah. Skyrim. Talos. Or not Skyrim, just the Elder Scrolls. Talos. Talos is another man god. Is Odin a man god? I can't remember if Odin was a person before he did the whole 9 days on a tree thing. Either way, Doom Eternal is a pretty solid game. I really like that story. What's going on there? It's like here's a man who is just, he's really pissed off, and he's gonna kill everything that was responsible for it. And all of those things, it just happened to be gods. It's cool, you know? It's fun. Anyway, that's the review.